What is up, guys? It's me, the ALEXX Prince. I'm a little tired just because I just had a long day, and then I decided to sit down and watch AEW Grand Slam. And I did not watch it live. I had to watch the rerun just because I had that much of a busy day. But I got the rerun, and I heard that the first match was Omega and Danielson. Now, I said, okay, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson opening the show. That means that something big has to happen at the end if you're gonna start off with a banger like this. And okay, for starters, I think people are overhyping Danielson and Omega. I think it's a great match, good to great match. It's not 5 stars. I'm sorry, it's not. I don't see a 5 star match. I see 4.25 maybe, but they did the best they could because this is clearly going to set up a future match, obviously. And I think when they get to that one's truly going to be 5 star. Hell, maybe even 6 stars, according to Dave Meltzer. But the story is that I think that, I mean, hell, the match ends in a time limit draw. That means whatever happens next, like, has to like surpass this or at least be close to it. It's kind of like this year's WrestleMania. Remember night one opened with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre? That was one of the most anticipated matches of the night, and it's a world title match. I was like, what? This is gonna be the first match on the show? Okay. But then you look at the rest of the card, and now you're excited. You want to see Cesaro get his moment. You want to see what Bad Bunny's all about because you've heard all the rumors that he was training. You want to see Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair main event. So there was other stuff to be excited for if the world title match was not going to be the top priority, if that makes sense. So I watched the match, and yeah, like I said, I thought it was the best match of the show. I thought it was a pretty good match. And I'm excited for what's to come. I heard that Rampage is going to be Adam Cole and the Young Bucks versus Christian and Jurassic Express at Rampage. I'm actually really looking forward to that match. That sounds like a clinic right there. And then the following promo was CM Punk talking about Team Taz, how he's going after Powerhouse Hobbs, and Powerhouse Hobbs seems to be like the pretty much what they wanted Brian Cage to be. Brian Cage was good, but he ain't great, and it definitely showed. And it's actually not really AEW's fault. I'm gonna say this. I don't think AEW is to blame for Brian Cage not getting over to the level that they should. For starters, the pandemic really hurt him. Like, they didn't know who was and who wasn't over. So there's no blame there per se. But I will say this: if his wife or his fiance, or whatever, is constantly bitching on the internet, you gotta understand that there's a lot of hungrier talent on the show. We got MJF, Hangman Page, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, um, the Elite, obviously, Cole, Punk, Bryan, and it doesn't feel like Brian Cage is like trying to reach or try anything. Hell, even Lance Archer tries. And I like Lance Archer. Lance Archer is one of my favorites. He's one of my top 10 on AEW. And it's upsetting that guy is not getting pushed, but he is busting his ass off to at least try to get some TV time. Obviously, I think he's in Japan or he's injured. I'm not sure of the story, but Lance Archer tries. So that's what I'm basically saying. Brian Cage is just like whatever. But anyways, back to this promo. CM Punk talks about Team Taz, so it looks like we're getting CM Punk and Powerhouse Hobbs down the road. Let me move this. And I'm excited for it. I don't think it should be a pay-per-view match. I think they could save it for a Dynamite episode. And I'm really looking forward to what's to come out of that match. I want to see CM Punk work with all types of guys. Darby Allin, phenomenal talent, one of my favorites of all time. It's a smaller dude. Powerhouse Powerhouse Hobbs is a lot bigger, so I want to see what CM Punk can do with a bigger dude now at his age. Oh, Stephen Amell was there, so that was awesome, promoting heels. Uh, and even CM Punk said, "What's gonna follow Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson?" Like, CM Punk is telling you then there's a problem. Like Tony Khan, I know you're worried about ratings. Like if you really don't care about WWE beating you in the ratings, then don't do shit like that. Don't try to force something down our throats. And we'll get to something that's being forced down our throats when we get to that part. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. Like I think they started with the two top things on the show, and I was like, the rest was good, but it's not like great. Like they should have spread it out better. They should have structured this a lot better. Brian Pillman Jr. loses to MJF. Now, I know that they're pushing Brian Pillman Jr. because of his father and because of the Dark Side of the Ring documentary that just came out. That's been a big hit. I think Brian Pillman needs some work. He actually is a very talented dude. Like I'm not just saying that. It's just he still needs to find himself, and I think he knows it too. I personally, if they're gonna make him a single star, stop bringing him into the Varsity Blondes. I hate when like they try to push a single star, but then they're still with the tag teams. Like that's why when Big E went on a singles run, like they put Woods and Kofi on Raw, and Big E stayed on SmackDown. So it's like if they do something like that where they complete, I don't even know his tag team partner's name, but like anyways, they're moving Brian Pillman Jr. to a single star, and like it's time for him to be his own person. And I'm looking forward to what he's done. Obviously, he wasn't gonna beat MJF. There's no way he was gonna beat MJF. I think MJF really needed this victory, and I don't know what's to come for MJF, but I'm actually looking forward to it. We have a backstage segment. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager, they're getting ready for a match on Rampage against Ethan Page, who I still do not like, and Scorpio Sky. This is the most random tag team put together, and it's clear that they have nothing for these guys. And I don't know. I don't like them. They're jobbers. There's no easy way to put them. Scorpio Sky. He was good in SCU, but SCU is done. Frankie Kazarian's kind of like a jobber. He's only I've noticed Frankie Kazarian's always fighting someone who's coming onto the roster. Like he fought Christian Cage in his return match, and he just recently fought Adam Cole in his return match. Like, geez, let me guess, he's gonna face Kevin Steen next. And Christopher Daniels, he's going back as the Fallen Angel, so that is super exciting. And then Scorpio Sky is just like he was the one that says like, "Oh, FSCU, like I want to be my own person." Now he's teaming up with another guy, and it's just like, dude, like that is such an iconic move. Like when Peyton Royce and Billy Kay split up, only for them to team up with other people. It was like it's so stupid. Um, but anyways, that should be fine. Easily Jericho and Hager are winning. There's no way they're gonna lose to those fuck ups. Next match. This is the one where I think people or AEW needs to wake up and realize that we do not want this guy as the top face. So we get Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. The rematch after getting squashed. And keep in mind, I know Cody and Brandy had a kid, so they had to like take some time off. They missed all out. Like I understand that there's nothing you can do about it. But the consistency, like think about it. People stay in there's so many talents that like stay in AEW until they get over. Like and then you have Cody Rhodes constantly taking breaks. He's on the Go Big show. He's on other stuff. He's on the what's the name of that TV show he's on? Like Rhodes Word to the Road. I don't know what his show's called. That Miss and Mrs. parody that he's doing with Brandy. And he just had a baby, so it seems like he's always busy, but for the most part he's constantly taking time off of AEW and then just coming back and then still staying at the top. One thing that I truly hated that Cody Rhodes did in the early stages of AEW is that he lost to Chris Jericho, he lost to MJF, but he still gets the shot at the TNT Championship. What does Chris Jericho do? He drops the belt to Jon Moxley, and MJF goes on to face Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. It took him forever to face the world champion. Like, meanwhile, Cody's still on top, kind of like Hulk Hogan. Remember that shit when Hulk Hogan lost to the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, then WrestleMania 7, he managed to sneak his way back up to the main event. So Cody, fucking stop. And one of the things that people said in this show, like they cheered Malachi Black and they booed Cody Rhodes, and rightfully so, because Malachi Black has been over as shit, like getting great matches out of everybody, and then Cody Rhodes is just kind of like talking a big game, saying that he's like the next phase, like he's pretty much trying to be John Cena but failed. And yeah, Cody Rhodes is, it's time to turn him heel. And then they kind of teased it, like he pushed the referee. Brandy Rhodes got into Malachi's face. Arn Anderson tripped. I don't know if that was for reals or he actually tripped, but that really took me out of it, and it was kind of lame. And even with Malachi Black winning with the mist, like he's still the baby face of it. And hell, Malachi Black struggled to fight Cody Rhodes. Keep in mind, he squashed him not that long ago. So it's just like now he wants to. And that's the thing. Cody Rhodes doesn't know when to have a squash match and when to have a lengthy match. Um, because I remember, like, can anyone name me who he fought at Double or Nothing this year? You can't, can you? But you remember he had a long ass match. That you do remember. So it's just like pick who you're gonna put over. Like you're in charge, Cody. So stop half-assing when you push it and people like it's just no unacceptable. But Cody, I hope you turn heel because god damn it, you work better as a heel. Hell, even in WWE, your best run was the dashing character, the ugly character, and the IC champion. And all three of those, Cody was a heel. So hello. FTR versus Sting and Darby Allin. Now, this was probably one of my favorite matches on the show besides the opening. And I'm not just saying that because it's Darby Allin and Sting, two of my favorites. But no, these two really had chemistry. FTR dressing like the NWO was awesome. And you really didn't know who's going to. I actually believed for a second that FTR was going to win. And no, we were wrong. Sting sneaks up and gets the victory. He had to roll up Dax Hardwood, I think that's his name, to get the victory. And there was oh no, he didn't get the victory that way. He had the submission, like the Scorpion Deathlock. The other member of FTR was holding him from the side of the ring. Darby Allin does the coffin drop on him from the side of the ring, which was that sounds fucking painful. And then he taps out, and yeah, Sting and Darby Allin could remain winners. Um, I liked the match. I really did enjoy the match. It would have been. I was curious what would have happened if they lost. Like, I'm just curious, you know. Like, I mean, I don't hate the match. I'm glad that Sting and Darby still won, and but I'm just curious, like, where does FTR go from here? Like, personally, I thought they were gonna be next in line to face the AEW Tag Team Champions, and it doesn't look like it now. Like, who the hell's the Lucha Bros gonna fight next? Like, I don't want to see the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros again. Let's take a break from that match. And then the main event, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. Like that promo that they had at Rampage was too good. It was too good. Like it was like I legit love that promo. But the match itself, it kind of showed me why they didn't book Ruby Riott all that much. Because while Ruby Riott is a great character, she is great on the mic. She has charisma. She's not the greatest in the ring. Just being honest, she was really weak. Even in NXT, I remember it was Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Nikki Cross, and Ruby was such a weak link to that match that they took her out of the match and made it Nikki and Asuka for the remainder of that match. Remember that? So yeah, I get why they didn't push her, but at the same time, she is fantastic as a character, as an in mic works skill. But like, I don't know, maybe Ruby Soho could work on it. Maybe he should get better training. And I'm glad that they kept the belt on Britt Baker. Britt Baker is a mega star. She's probably the most over. She's definitely in the top 5 as far as like most over people. You know, behind Omega, the Bucks, Danielson, and Punk. You could say Sting and Allin, but I mean, Britt Baker is like one of those like straight up like talents that gets over like just being herself. So yeah, keep the belt with her, like, because I can't think of anybody that's gonna drop the belt off of, like, get the belt off of Britt except Thunder Rosa. But I think they're saving that for Full Gear or hell even next year. I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, Britt Baker is a star. Let's keep her at the top. Yeah, I thought this was a solid show. It's just that when you have a match like Danielson and Omega, like, hell, they could have had it end in a time limit draw because it was the last match, so you could say they ran out of time. And because this is another thing, I don't know if anybody caught this, but Malachi Black and Cody Rhodes had an hour, unlike Omega and Danielson, who only had 30 minutes. So it's just like that time limit thing is so fucking stupid to the point where it's like, no, if we're gonna do something like this, put it at the end. And I get it; they wanted to show the Bucks beating the crap out of Danielson, but who cares? I mean, yeah, they should have really been the closing segment, and this should have been spread out a little bit better and better structured. But okay, I guess that's what it is, and that's something that AEW I could give feedback for. Like they need to work on like structuring everything well. Um, Remember that episode of Rampage when CM Punk made his debut? Okay, that was an amazing opening segment. What else happened on that show? Can anyone tell me? I don't think so. Um, yeah, that's it for my review of AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.